This is Sunny. I'm making this video. I'm gonna start off with the most important trade, although it's not the most dollar amount. It's the most important trade, and then I'm gonna talk about every other trade. I was trading a stock too, and Roland Wolf was doing his pre-market prep, Monday pre-market prep, and he was talking about this trade, and it was a valuable video lesson, and I'm going to show it on this audio so you can so I can look back and see it, and you can look back and see it, and also so that you can look back and see it in the future, and also understand, get a better understanding in it. And also, in his video, he explained how he uses dilution tracker, which is very valuable, and it's fucking beautiful. The state of mind of it, and just the usefulness of it, man, it's crazy. But I'll go into my first trade. Which is, or not my first trade, but my most important trade that I find valuable is nktr. I honestly didn't do my research on this trade. By the time I saw it, it was right here, and I was trying to get into it, and I got in, and then I did my research, but I was looking for a 945 dip and rip. That was the whole point. All day I was just looking for a 945 dip and rip in all these stocks. Wasn't finding anything. I'm like, I don't like any of the plays. I don't like any of the opportunities. MF wasn't giving me any opportunity. Like 945, it was spiking market open, so you know that's gonna be more of a long. When it spikes market open, it doesn't really give you that dip and rip. It's more of a dip and rip later on in the day, midday. So I knew I wouldn't get one from here, and I'm looking. As you can see, it's 10:21. Still no dip and rip. I was looking at PSTX. I was looking at quite a few stocks. PRZO was another opportunity I traded. I'll explain that one too. This stock, I guess I missed it, but it kind of gave a nice 945 dip and rip. I wanted to play it, but I think I ended up missing it, or it was just too choppy for me. I looked at AAOI, no opportunity there. Or I guess, or it went up, market open, it started perking up. But no, I didn't want to trade this. I looked at it real quick, didn't trade it. I looked at quite a few stocks. SVFD. It was a nice dip. It was an early 945 dip and rip, but I missed that one as well. I remember missing that. But to go into my trade, nktr, I got in. And while this is going to be loading, I'm putting in the triangles. While this is going to be loading, I'm going to show you this. I went in here after I got in, but I'll show you. This is how I normally do it. Excuse me. I always do my research first, or at least I try to. But before that, I had looked at the float and the news. I looked at the news when I was I looked at the news first. I looked at the float, and I did not like the float. I missed this. This is one thing I missed. Notice how it has a 3.9 million shares available short. That tells me the float is high. The outstanding is high, the float's high. I missed that. It wasn't until after I got into the trade, because if I saw that, I probably would have never traded it. But and this is a good short, but I'm not trying to double dip right now. I'm focused on one strategy right now. So I got in, and once it excuse me for that. Once I saw this, I'm like, whoa, float way too high. I already had got in. I just seen the opportunity, and I'm like, okay, could just run up. And then I went back and looked at, but this is the original way I'm supposed to look at it is look at the chart, look at the news, look at the flow, look at the dilution, the possible dilution, and then go from there. Just be patient. It's gonna show up. Just be patient. There you go. Hopefully it still works. So you're supposed to look at the news. This is how I do it. Look at the news, see if it's what's pushing it up. I think I remember not seeing anything. So they're reporting old news. Announced promising new and corrected, I don't know how to pronounce this word, efficacy data, which were previously reported in 2022 and incorrectly calculated by former collaborator Eli or Lilly and company. So they're reporting old news, which means nothing to me. I didn't even look at the news, but I know I looked at the float, and I went to dilution tracker. So I'm like, okay, they got a good amount of money, and then there's not much on the dilution. And then after that, I started watching it. I looked at the scanner or the yearly chart, 6 month chart. I noticed that, okay, this was the biggest volume stick it had in the past 6 months. I didn't really care for the whole year because it just gets worse for the whole year. So I'm trying to play this short term. So I'm like, okay, is it going to break past this 730, 76 range? I was in at 74. So I'm like, it's already broken past this range. So my next resistance level is to look at is the next high, which is 110. I'm like, I don't think this can go to 110. So I'm like looking, and I saw this right here, but it's already past. I looked at this high day with the volume, and it already passed 61, 60. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use the intraday resistance because all these resistance right here are too far, and some of it already passed. So at that point, I was just trading it, and I'm in right here. And I'm playing a 945 dipping rip. It already passed 945. I'm using lower day and or VWAP as my support and my risk. So as you can see here, it had already pulled back. This was lower day plus VWAP. So I'm like, okay, this is a good place to risk off of. So I got in, and I entered my order at 74 right here. And at first I was tempted to just jump in and get in at the ask at like 74.69 or something like that. But I'm like, let's stop chasing. You're already past your risk by 2.5 cents. Let's not chase. I put my entry at 74, and I'm like, let's be patient. It started filling little by little, and it got in. I got in. And I'm like, just patience, Sonny, patience. No need to chase. I said, you're already above your risk, so you're already chasing because you're away from your risk by far, by 2.5 cent. I didn't really do the math on how much I would be risking, and I went in with 10,000 shares, which was like 7,000 and some change. So then afterwards, I just patiently waited, and at first it was just going sideways. At first it was just going sideways, and then you see it perk up, and it perked up, and then it came back down, and then I started noticing this in these trades, and this trade where it would perk up and come back down. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But then it perked right back up and started uptrending, and then it perked back down again, and then perked right back up. So I'm like, okay, that could be a short trap. I'm seeing that. They might be trying to short trap, so they're gonna dump this. It's one or the other. And then I'm like, okay, let's see if it can. I'm at this point. I'm like, I'm up $250. I'm like, okay, I have no need for me to like quickly rush out because I'm already up on my trade. If this doesn't go my way, I'm just gonna hit a market order and get out. It ended up uptrending, and I'm up $250, and it's just perking back down, perking back down. I'm like, okay, I don't like the way it's trending, but it's perking right back up. I'm like, I got to get out at this point, but it's a potential that it can go up. And I see that it's trying to short traps. So I'm like, can it pass this point of 76, roughly 77, and it got to 77, like somewhere right here. And then it broke past this point of 78.45. I'm like, ooh, that's really good. The volume was roughly around the same as much as it was here. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm not using no resistance points on the daily. So I'm using intraday resistance. And I don't think it can go I don't think it can go past high day. High day is my exit point. So once I seen it hit 78, 79, I was ready to get out. And then I entered my order at 0.80, and it filled. It started filling. And I got out for a $504 gain. I think I was risking like, I don't even know, and I'm curious to know now. 0.25. No, that's 25 cents. I'm tripping. 0.025 times 10,000 shares I was in. I was risking 250 to make 500. That's a 2-to-1 risk reward, or 1-to-2 risk reward. 1-to-2 risk reward. So 2-to-1 risk reward, and really my risk or reward I thought could be high a day, but nothing more. So once it perked up, I just got out at 80, executed at 80, and I just got the fuck out. I'm like, I don't want to stay or overstay, and ended up pushing up a little bit more to 82, but I was okay with that. I was glad that I was out, and started going sideways. I'm like, maybe it can push higher. I don't know. And then it did this pull back right here on this candlestick, and then perked back up. I'm like, okay, they're trying to trap shorts again. They did it here. They did it here again. They're trying to trap shorts. But I'm like, with that float, I don't think it's going to trap any shorts. And then boom, it just dumped. It just dumped. And I was just like, see, I was right. This is a speculative trade. It's not really that high risk. I mean, high reward. It's not that of a good trade. I got in lower day, which is what I'm supposed to be playing, how I should be playing it. and I got out. This might do an afternoon bounce as well, and you can play it from here and risk VWAP. But I'm playing a dip and rip, and I'm out. This might this really is a good opportunity. You get in at around 70 cents. You're up a couple cents maybe. But I don't like these trades because I need to see like, I don't want it to just go down and come right back up. And I don't level twos. I don't have level twos and level twos on these kind of stocks. They're not that great. But I just got, so I'm like, I don't want to play this kind of shit. I need it to consolidate, give me a sign that I can get in. But yeah, it pulled back pretty hard, and I was like, I don't want to touch it, and that was it. My next trade. Excuse me, give me 1 second. I gotta increase my immune system. So my next trade was well, not my next trade. First trade of the day. That was my last trade of the day, but I thought this was a more important trade, so I spoke about this. So this is my first trade of the day, and then I'll speak about the second. But this right here was fucking beautiful. This is one of the most important things I can speak about right now. I'm putting it in a 2-minute chart so you can see it better. This was fucking beautiful. Whoop said he wouldn't touch it. He spoke about it in his pre-market prep. I'm going to show you the video so I can go back and look at it my damn self. But this was fucking beautiful. In the way I was able to find it is, I was just looking at my scanner, just looking for stocks, and I seen vtgn. It was up like 50% or something like that. And I was like, I'm like, wow, this is flashing. It was just flashing on a chart. I'm like, whenever I see a stock flashing, like you see how it is doing now, or it was just doing now, it was just flashing, just like that. See that? Just like that. It was just flashing, but it was like down here or something. It was like in the 50s. I'm like, oh shit, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh shit, and if it would load. I hate when it does this. I gotta update this. But when I looked at the yearly chart, I'm like, okay, it's been going sideways really, but it's been going up and down. And I seen where it said, you see this S 333333, and then 1000. That's a split, and they did a big ass split. That means they've been diluting a lot right here. So they had to do a big ass split. So when I seen it moving on my chart, where was I? Right here, I think. No, right here. I'm like, it's barely going up. Like it was literally just uptrending, and I'm like literally getting in the beginning of this uptrend, and I'm like, oh shit. And I told myself, I said, man, this is not my strategy, or I won't say it's not my strategy. It's the strategy I was using previously before, but this is not the strategy I want to do anymore, or not so much, because it's kind of like a hit or miss on these. But I got in because I was getting in on the initial spike. I know there's more to this chart. It's just not showing me. It don't matter. So I was getting in the initial spike. There's more to this chart. It's just not showing it. I don't know why. It's just fucking software. So I'm like, honestly, man, this shit looks beautiful. This shit's moving. Um, when you see these question marks, it's not really fucking working well. Yeah, it's not showing it. It's fucking annoying. So I just got in. I'm like, fuck it. I said I was gonna get in with like $16,000, honestly. But I was like, nah, Sonny, let's trade this and be more realistic. And I got in with 3,400 shares at 452. I don't really know the math on that, but I know that's gonna be a good amount times 3,400. Wow, still practically 16K. But I got in, and I was just like, whoa. And I got in early, so I didn't really care like size and all that. I just got in, and it just started. I mean, I don't even think I was down in this trade at all, and it started uptrending, 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 and I got out early as hell. I literally did, like, I got out early as hell because I'm like, man, and I wish this chart would let me fucking show you the way I want you to see it. I think this is good enough. So I got out early as hell. It just started perking, and I'm like, I'm up like $1 something. Then it pulled back some, I think right here, and I'm like, I was up like, I swear I thought it said 5K or some shit like that, but I guess not. But it pulled back, or maybe I was thinking 5K. Like I wanted 5K, but it pulled back, and I was up like a good amount, and then it pulled back, and I was up like 1,000 or so, or a couple $100. And then I just got in once. It's just executed at different times within the 1 minute candlestick. But then I got in, and then it perked back up, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm getting out at 550." Now 550 was a psychological number. I just threw in a 550 number, and I just got in and got out. After I got out, I was like, I kind of got out early, I could tell, and then, but I was like, hey, it's okay. And then it just kept spiking, and I'm like, wow, I did not expect it to go this far up, and it just kept uptrending and uptrending and uptrending. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh, I went up to 57. This is one thing I want to speak of. In Roland's Wolf pre-market prep this morning, he spoke about, and I asked him this question at the boot camp I went to his boot camp in Miami, and I still got to make a video about it, about the lessons that I learned. But I asked him, I said, okay, if a stock is going, if a stock low flow, has great news, and they have an offering, and let's say the stock is at like $1. I'm giving you an example here, and this is what I asked him, like, if a stock is at $1, and and they got an offering at like $5 or $10, right? And this might be their only offering, or they got multiple offerings, but like the lowest one is at $5 or $5 or $10, whatever. Do you think that they're gonna run up the stock all the way to $10 or $5 or $10 and then start dumping? And he was like, or will it go double, triple, and then start dumping? He's like, it doesn't really matter, Sonny. They might do it before they even hits the offering, and they can dump from somewhere else, from their own shares, not actually the offering, but somewhere else. And then he's like, or they could dump from the offering. Once it hits 5, they just start dumping. And there's other times they won't wait till um, it does a 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, or 2x, 3x, 4x. They won't wait for that. They'll just start dumping immediately once they get the chance. And then there's other stocks where there's other times where they will do the 2x, 3x, 4x. You never know. And in this case, I was like, they did it. They did exactly, well, they did exactly, they didn't do exactly the 2x, 3x, 4x. They did it exactly at the offering. So, the more, what I'm trying to say is, you know, should I, if I'm in a stock, right, or I see a stock, and they got an offering at 5, should I ride it till 5? And his answer was no. And in this situation, and every situation is different, but I felt like in this situation, I should have rolled it to the exact amount that the offering was saying. But I didn't know that they were having an offering. But whenever I do know, and in his video, he was explaining on dilution tracker, vtgn, I think is the name of the stock. vtgn, yeah. And in his video, he was explaining how this is the flow as right now, or the outstanding, which is 7.87. This company has $0 left, that they're in the negatives, but now they got a whole lot of money because they're running up the stock. And he was showing us how, because he's a subscriber to this, so he can see everything. Like a faster way of seeing the dilution and all that, instead of having to go through the SECs. And he was saying in the video, like, man, I got this. Now I don't have to spend so much time looking through the SEC filings. It's just all in front of me, and dilution tracker is pretty accurate. So he's seeing that this company had like a small amount in the 15s, then $45 warrants. And he kept scrolling down. He's like, okay, I got a couple of expired warrants. And expired, and I think he said something else where then he was like, this one has like something, I forgot what he said in the video. You got to watch the video, and I'm about to show you the video. But he was just like explaining like all the dumping points, and he was like, they're most likely in a dump. It had it at 15 and 45, and I think somewhere in the 20s as well. And they rolled it all the way up and dumped it. And they made some fucking money. So my moral of the story is, if a stock has an offering at a certain point and it hasn't reached that point yet, it most likely is, in my opinion, is most likely gonna ride to that point and dump, unless they're gonna dump their own shares that they own from the company, or from somewhere else where they don't have to wait till they reach that certain point. But here's the video I'm gonna show you here. This is the video where he was talking about it. It's titled "Pre-Market Prep Monday Live," rolling with August 6th. But I don't know why he put August 6th. And he just streamed it like literally an hour ago, but I think he meant to put August 7th.
Good morning, everyone.
August 6th is a Sunday. And somewhere in here, right?
Got some pretty decent gappers.
And I got to go back and watch it, but he's talking about vtgn, and he goes into talking about the dilution tracker. And you got to go back and watch. I got to go back and watch this. But this is where he talks about it, and I was like, man, that was a valuable lesson right there. That was a fucking valuable lesson right there, man. So I gotta do it. I'm gonna sign up for his program as well. I'm part of Sykes, and I'm gonna be part of Wolves, and I'm gonna be going to his boot camps. But This is it right here, man. It was very valuable, and then as you can see, they rolled it up to that exact a point where they had it offering at 15.45, and I think somewhere in the 20s, and they dumped it. And I highly believe this is not coming back up. You had still hanging around VWAP. It might keep going, but they dumped it, and the float is higher than what it was before. They might find a way to, because when I was watching the as you can see here, my scanner, even IB had fucking shares to short, and IB never had shares to short. So that told me something like, okay, they could be squeezing this up right now on shorts, because it had like 20 something K worth of shorts, shares of short, excuse me, and it just kept dropping from 23, 22, 21, 20, 20, 29, 18, 17, 16. It just kept going and going until it got to zero. And I was like, this is getting squeezed because someone's shorting right now. And this might squeeze up. I'm going to be watching this for tomorrow to see how it performs. But it may or may not. I'm not betting that it will, because they're going to have to release an offering and be like, hey, we got an active offering right now, and they're going to have to dump it. So we'll see. It's down more than 50%, damn near almost probably 70 or 80% if I do the math. But I don't want to fuck with this until I see an opportunity. I'm not even going to trade it at all, but after that, I'm done. But this was a great opportunity to learn from Wolf and from just my own experience. The next stock I traded was this. And this is pretty. I'm gonna explain this pretty quick because there's not much to really explain. But I was looking for a dip and rip here, in this pattern. Oh, I remember now. So it was before 9:45, and I saw it starting to go up. I kind of missed this point, the lower day, so I'm like, I'm kind of chasing right now, getting in here, but it's perking up, and I'm like, Sonny, you're chasing this right now. The risk is at $2.02. You're getting in. What price did I get in at? I got in pretty high at 232, and I chased it, and I'm like, Sonny, you chased it, so you got to cut really fast. And I asked myself, where are you going to cut? I said, practically my entry point. And it perked back down, and I was like, I'm getting out. And then it perked, before I even got the chance to hit the buttons, it perked back up. And I'm like, okay, it might try to squeeze up to resistance. I'm getting out of the resistance. Resistance is at VWAP, which is almost 50, 250. I'm in at 32, so I'm looking at a 10-cent gain, but a 30-cent loss. And I'm using this as resistance as well, because it still has to perk to this level. This wick right here, you see this wick? So the fact that it went up there and came right back down and left the wick, that tells me there's some dumping right there, or there's some kind of selling pressure right here. So when I seen that it went up, when it came down, went back up, and then it started slowly coming down. Before it had this big long red candlestick, it was the next minute it started downtrending, and then it hit my entry, and I just clicked sell, hit the order, the share amount, and hit market order, and just said fuck it. I didn't even think about it. All that, ooh, but it might. I got that out the fucking way. Fuck that shit. I just said no. I ain't got time for that. I don't want to deal with those emotions, because that's when the emotions kicked in. It just might. It might give me a chance. No, I said I don't even want to think about it. Click. I just made my hand click it, and that's what I've learned with rolling wolf. Like, market order that shit, and I hit a market order, and I got the fuck out. Fuck trying to sorry about that. I'm a little sick, or I'm not sick, but I got a runny nose. But yeah, I was like, fuck that, man. I'm not trying to deal with those emotions no more. Out, boom, got out. And then once I got out, I had a more clear point of view, and I looked away for like a second or two, looked back, and it started dumping with this red candlestick. And I'm like, see, I'm glad that I got out. I said I don't care that I might have got out, and if I hit a limit order, I probably would have got out with a lesser amount of loss. I said I don't care. My next trade is gonna make up for those losses. My next green trade is gonna make up for those extra losses that I took on hitting a market order. And that's how I'm playing it now, because that's what I learned at Will and Wolf's webinar. Boot camp. But that's all the trades for today. VTGN was more of like a just get in and get out. It's not really me practicing my 945 dip and rips. It's more of just what I used to trade. These are the trades that I normally perform. But recently, I just realized all the videos that I was making had no audio, and I didn't. All the videos I made from August to back to February, March, were all a waste because I was using these headphones that I'm using now, and I never switched the audio to headphones from computer to headphones, which is stupid, and couldn't hear me this whole time. And I let fucking 5 months go by without realizing that, which is stupid of me. But yeah, man, this was just my old pattern, looking for a low float, a squeezing pre-market. I'm getting in pre-market, getting out before market open. That's my strategy. That's what I like, because those trades give me the biggest gains, but they don't happen as often, and they're highly diluted. So I said, you know what, this is not happening all the time, and I honestly can't play this, and I'm not disciplined enough to cut when it's not going my way. So I started playing opportunities like nktr, a dipper rip, and przo, but I missed it and chased it. But this dip was, and I told you in this video, it might just rip here, a late afternoon rip, and go even higher, and that's what it's doing right now. So of course this dip and rip is much better, but I took advantage of this one. I have to keep learning to see how I can anticipate these dip and rips. Maybe it's just the time frame I need to go off of, just like I used the time frame on this opportunity, but that was a much better one from the 70s to the 90s. That's a bigger reward and lower risk. So yeah.